Boy, it's been a rough one. I mean, we gotta work for a living like this. Spent a whole day down to Lafitte today, picked up some nice fish. This ain't bad for four guys probably didn't know what they were doing this morning when we started out. Went all the way down through all the coastlines, fished the reefs, current points, the birds, picked up some nice fish. And guys, you know what it's all about, man. Speckled trout fishing down in Barataria. You know, there's only one thing left to do, guys, and that's it. When you make a trip like this, guys, wait, it's cleanup time. Guys, who's gonna clean these things? Guess that's what it's all about. Speckled trout fishing in the outdoors, Louisiana style. Guys.
Getting fish in a boat, that's what it's all about.
And that means you want the best tackle money can buy. Shag's Fishing and Marine Supply has all that you need. Shag specializes in the latest, most effective tackle available. When you can't find it anywhere else, you'll find it at Shag's. Berkeley, All-Star, Shimano, high-performance equipment that produces big results. So whether you like saltwater, freshwater, or both, choose your weapons at Shag's. Because when all that matters is getting fish in the boat, Shag's has the equipment you need.
Shag's, your Toledo Tackle Factory Outlet in Metairie.
The secret to having a great time in the outdoors is having the right equipment, and I found the place to go. Barrett's edges are on the hook, and where it's got to be sharp at. Remember, this is an important point, and you got to get it just the right way. If you get it too fine, it'll break off or dull quicker. So put the knife edge in the right spot, put the point in the right spot, but just take a little magnifying glass out, take a good hard look at a hook just before you get started, and then get out your file, or your rotary stone, or your diamond hone, or the one that's got the slot in it, where you can put it in there in just a couple of quick passes. Remember, point up those hooks. That's what it's all about. Sharpen them up before you head out. A good sharp hook is the most important part of your fishing tackle, because the dull ones just ain't going to get it. I'm going to point up the rest of these, even a little bitty perch hook here, while you watch more of the outdoors Louisiana style. Whoa. The baits we threw today, sparkle beetle, crocodile spoon, and a few others, and we did pretty good. Now those spots we showed you were from the springtime trip, but most of them will work again in the fall. And the baits, well, you can throw this or you can go to live bait or what you like to throw. But remember what I told you earlier. Just give 5 or 10 minutes to each spot. And if you don't see any action, you don't pick up any trout, or just get a few hits, pack it up and move to another one. Look for moving water, a good tide, a little bait action, and you'll find them speckled trout. Lafitte's the place to go. Catching speckled trout. Boy, I tell you what, that's part of just having a whole lot of fun in the outdoors, Louisiana style.
Buy your boat from a boat dealer, but buy your marine accessories from Boat Stuff. Boat Stuff has the broadest selection of accessories on the coast and over 15 models of VHF radios with antenna and mounting brackets. Complete packages start at $179.99 with installation and service on all the electronics they sell. Boat Stuff has marine cleaners, waxes, and repair products to make your boating safe and enjoyable. Buy your Boat Stuff at 2610 Jefferson Highway, a block east of Causeway Boulevard.
Just look at this trash. This is one of our public boat launches, but this is all over the state. Our beaches, our rivers, our bayous, our lakes, they all look like this. Beach Sweep 88 is coming up on September 24th. All across the state, we're gonna clean this place up. So why don't you give me a hand? Join me, call this number today, Beach Sweep 88. It really does matter. It all really does.
Hi, we're your typical outdoor sportsmen.
Yeah, Mom says we spend a lot of time outdoors.
Except on Friday nights, we stay inside.
Yeah, we watch Eddie Castelin.
On Outdoors, Louisiana style.
I like to watch it on Saturday mornings.
It's a really neat show.
With everything in the outdoors.
We want you to watch Outdoors, Louisiana style.
Hi, welcome to the second half hour of the Outdoors Louisiana Style. Let me start off by saying the program you saw, we filmed in early May, before the limits were changed. Now, your limit is only 25 trout a day, and it's 5 reds a day. So, no, we didn't poach that trip. But the spots we use work again in the fall, and just about the time you head out right now. So we had talked about early summer and late summer patterns, but that also works for fall patterns in the same baits. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. But I'm right here tonight. Oh, best bets of the week with Florence knocking on our door.
Come on, be real. I'm a nut too, but I'm not crazy enough to go out fishing in this weather. Stay home, clean up tackle, get the tackle box out, spread it all over the kitchen table. The wife will love you for that this weekend. John Wright Mouse, my sidekick and co-host. Hey, Frankie, you made it in, right?
I sure did, Eddie, yeah. It was just a little light rain. Wasn't very much to it when I was coming in. All right. Hopefully I'll be able to get home.
Okay. Now, you know, this is the last weekend we'll be at this time slot.
That's right. That's right. We're moving.
That's right. Now, if you catch a program on Friday nights when we're live, we're used to be live on Friday nights at 6 o'clock. Well, it's tonight. It's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you know. But starting next week, September 16th, we're moving to a brand new time and a brand new channel. We'll be on Channel 22 with all the airings of Outdoors Louisiana Style, and we go to 7 o'clock on Channel 22 starting next Friday night, September 16th. And joining us that night is Charlie Frank to talk about the Waterfowl Festival coming up the 24th and 25th at UNO with ducks like this and all kinds of art for the waterfowler. And that's coming up. We'll talk to Charlie next week. In fact, he's going to tell us about this decoy right here when we get together next weekend on the Outdoors Louisiana Style. It's art like this that makes our heritage worthwhile. And we'll be looking at it on September 24th and 25th out at UNO. And maybe you'll join us out there because we're going to take the show on the road that weekend. Go on out there and take a look at some of this art for you. But remember, we'll be at 7 o'clock on Channel 22 after this week. And looking forward to that little extra break, a little extra hour.
That's right. It'd be nice.
And all the airings will be Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, evening, and late at night. And every time you look for us, we'll be on Channel 22 all after that. Oh, this weekend, why don't you come by and visit with me? If the storm breaks, I'm going to go to Swagman Superfood Show down in the Convention Center on Saturday, if the storm breaks, from noon to 3, and Sunday from noon to 3. One of those 2 days, we're going to be down there with Lane Thompson and the Fisherman Tide Rule posters. I'll have posters and Tide Rule booklets, copies of the crawfish and crab and shrimp boil recipes, and all kinds of other goodies down there at the Convention Center this weekekend. So if you're down there from noon to 3, if the storm breaks, I'll be there on Saturday. If not, we'll be down there on Sunday. It's kind of iffy right now.
Yeah, well, weather's going to be the main thing that has to decide when you're going, I guess.
Yeah, that's right, because we were going to make a trip this week on scuba diving. That was our scuba diving checkout trip was going to be this Sunday. But seas offshore, I mean, the wimps we got on the crew around here. I mean, I couldn't get the guys out. I mean, these guys, 8 to 12 foot seas. Come on, guys. Once I get down below, it wouldn't really matter.
That's true. That's true. Once you're under the water, it don't make a difference how high the seas are, right?
That's right. But see the camera crew that got left on the boat?
Just as long as you're qualified for the alligator hunt. That's all we're worried about.
What alligator hunt?
We got you answered. You're going to be scuba
yeah, but the
diving.
alligator. No, it doesn't say scuba. I got the sheet here on we're going to talk about that.
Forgot to tell you, huh?
Yeah, you didn't tell me a thing about this.
You'll hear about it.
Okay. Tonight, let's talk tackle tips. I'm going to share a couple of tackle tips that came in here. Ones that we really can't produce and make a full-fledged award of a 48-quart igloo ice chest on, but ones that we will recognize and we're going to send something. We'll find something that we can send to you recognized form. But we got some great tackle tips we're going to produce for you in a couple of weeks. We're going to produce some great tackle tips and show you those. Run down some of the ones we got in. Acknowledge these folks. Talk about the tips and hints and a couple of other things. And remember, the contest is ongoing. And if you got a tackle tip, you mail it to me. If we produce it, it's a full-fledged tackle tip. Now, we're talking something totally unique. We will award you with a 48-quart igloo ice chest, one of the sound igloo products that Mike Seif will provide to us. And that's yours if we produce that tackle tip. And just mail it to our address, and we'll take care of it. Igloo just like this. In fact, Frankie, I think you really should have cleaned that igloo off before you brought it back.
Well, you know how it is. You're giving all mine away. I'm going to have to go see Mike again.
All right. We'll take your phone calls if you want to chat this evening. We're not going to talk about the hurricane, though. Let's talk about tackle tips. You want to question what we've done on tackle tips, share one with us, talk about fishing possibilities, talk baits, whatever. It's open forum this evening. Just give us a call. Dial it up right now. We'll be here till 7 o'clock, and we'll talk to you. It's all coming up next, right here on the Outdoors Louisiana Style.
Getting fish in a boat, that's what it's all about.
And that means you want the best tackle money can buy. Shag's Fishing and Marine Supply has all that you need. Shag specializes in the latest, most effective tackle available. When you can't find it anywhere else, you'll find it at Shag's. Berkeley, All-Star, Shimano, high-performance equipment that produces big results. So whether you like saltwater, freshwater, or both, choose your weapons at Shag's. Because when all that matters is getting fish in the boat, Shag's has the equipment you need.
Shag's, your Toledo Tackle Factory Outlet in Metairie.
Are you looking for a boat? If so, take a short drive down Highway 90 to Luling, Louisiana, and get the best deal in the metro area at the Sportsman Cove. At the Sportsman Cove, look over their great selection of bass tracker, skeeter, and the famous Wellcraft line. The Sportsman Cove has the boat you want at a price you can afford to pay, and the Sportsman Cove will finance your new boat with any one of 4 different plans. They also have a large selection of boating equipment to suit your boating needs. So if you're looking for a new boat, take a short drive down Highway 90 in Luling and look for the Sportsman Cove.
We're here, and this is another look at that decoy, part of the waterfowl art that's going to be out at UNO on September 24th and 25th. Now, this is competition. On Saturday, you won't believe what goes on, but if you're into any kind of waterfowl art, any kind at all, I mean from carvings to gold to decoys, anything like that, you head on out to UNO on the 24th and 25th. You'll be surprised. I started to teach about some of the segments we're going to produce in the next couple of weeks. A couple of the other things, we're going to bring in an expert on rod and reel repair. Now, we're not going to necessarily talk about how to repair your rods and reels. We're going to talk about making emergency repairs and how to maintain your equipment before you go out. Because you and I know, Frank, that if you don't wash out your reels after you get to salt water, if you don't know how to check the line guides and see what makes them abrasive, if you don't know how to make these little minor adjustments, you're going to lose money. Because we're going to teach you with a professional, one of the aces in the business. Their family's been in it over 40 years on how to clean up your gear and how to make the little fine adjustments. Then if you need a fix, you go to a repair shop. But until then, you just do it yourself at home. Save some money. All right, other things, we're going to talk about hunting dogs, from pups to adults, from basic training to advanced training, from beagles to retrievers. We're producing that one right now. Got some beautiful animals to show you. And talk about animals, we're going to show you some of the animals that are indigenous right here to Louisiana. Some of the things you'll find in the marsh. Not only show you the animal, but tell you how you can find them, where you'll find them, and when you should go looking for them. In case you're visiting out there, maybe you've never ran across a good-sized alligator or a raccoon or a possum or something because you're looking in the wrong place. We'll talk about that too. We've got a segment coming up on that. We're going to talk about duck hunting basics with Mike Smith and the gang. We'll go out and do a little duck hunting and let Mike run through all the basics of how to get set up with that. And he's a champion duck caller. And biking in the city. Yes, there are other things besides hunting and fishing we'll do right here on the Outdoors Louisiana style. We're going to take you out and show you all kinds of fun things to do. But your phone calls are important for us right now. So let's talk with Keith. Keith's on the line with us tonight. How you doing, Keith? You want to talk about sharpening up hooks?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Eddie? I sure enjoyed that show concerning the trout fishing. One question concerning the the hook. What size hook did you use in fishing for the trout and barred terrier bait?
Keith, we used a very simple hook, and we used a sparkle beetle with a 1/4 ounce jig head on it, and I'll put it up here so Kevin can get a picture of that for you, or Mike's going to get it. Mike's got it. Okay, it's just a 1/4 ounce jig head, and we used the chartreuse mostly all day long. What we used?
Yeah,
chartreuse all day long, Keith, and it was just a 1/4 ounce jig head. I believe that's a 1/0. Maybe a 2/0 hook. It's looking like it's a 2/0 hook, but this is one of the baits we used on the trip, in fact.
I see. The reason I asked, I was fishing off the Seabrook Bridge, and the gentleman next to me was using a #1 hook. And it seemed like he was disguising the bait into the hook, because I was using a #2 hook, and it seemed like the trout was hitting from the side instead of grabbing it whole. And he had found much success in using that #1 hook. And I was just kind of curious concerning about the size hook that you was using.
Well, Keith, that'll work for you with the #1 if you conceal it in the bait a little bit. But I bet you he was using a light wire hook, too, around that heavy structure around Seabrook. That way, when you get hung up, you can just bear down on it. No quick jerks. Just bear down on it, and the hook will straighten out a little bit, let itself go. When you get it back up, you take a pair of needle nose pliers, you roll it back over to its original shape again, because that's a big seller in that area, is those light wire hooks. Now, this is a forged hook. It would snap, and it would not straighten out. But a light wire #1 probably be your best bet out there.
Thanks a lot. I sure enjoy your show. I never miss it every week.
Thank you. Thank you for the call. And another bait we used that day, and we didn't use a painted jig head. All the jig heads we used were plain lead. I'm not a great fan of painted jig heads. I don't think they really see the jig head as much as they do see the bait. So we had a plain jig head on that trip. Earl's on the line with us right now. How you doing, Earl? You're on the Outdoors Louisiana style.
Hey, Eddie, I'd like to find out if that Lake Desalman comes into a bayou back behind Kramer.
Yeah, it does. It becomes Bayou Buff.
That's Bayou Buff back there.
Yeah,
go into Kramer and just go right out into the lake then.
Yeah, let's see. Let me get my directions right. Lake Desalman's north of Highway 90, and you head over towards the east a little bit, towards the west a little bit, and you've got Kramer. If you go past Desalman's and you go to a highway just before the road to Raceland, No, you take the old road to Raceland, and then you got another road that comes up to Kramer. You launch into Bayou Buff.
3109, I think the highway's number.
I don't think it's a new highway. That 31 number is a new highway. It's an old highway, like 4 something. But it's the only road that's got a sign that says Kramer. Surprising.
Yeah.
But you get to that point now. When you get to Kramer, if you launch into Bayou Buff, if you go west, you go into Lake Buff. If you go east, you come into the top of Lake des Allemands. Good catfishing up there.
Good. Thank you, man.
Thank you for the call. And that is good catfishing up there.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice area up there, too.
Yeah, it really is. And if we can help you out this evening, just give us a call. We're talking tackle tips, fishing hotspots, and a whole lot more. And on the line with us right now is Darren. How you doing, Darren? You're on the Outdoors, Louisiana style.
All right, how you doing?
Okay, we're going to help you out with tonight.
Yeah, I was just wondering if y'all wanted to do any hunting shows on deer.
Yes, we will, but deer hunting is going to be a little difficult, Darren. Actually go out and do a hunt, show a kill. Now, we do have a little problem with that because it's a family-oriented show, and showing a kill may be distasteful to some members of the family. But we are going to show you how to plan a food plot, how to maintain your food plot, where to put your stands at, what to look like, what to look for in the woods, how to determine scrapes and areas, and then how to pick out your quarry and best spots to go hunting, and even find you some public lands that you go hunting, besides the 31 wildlife management areas that are across the state and 3 or 4 federal areas. We're going to do a program on that, Darren.
We may try to get some live shots of deer too, if we can.
Yeah, we will be up. We have already made arrangements with property owners to set up before deer season, before the gun season starts, so we can get some shots of deer feeding and other stuff. So we've got a segment planned to be produced on that, but this is not the time of the year to be in the woods. Late August, early September is not the time because the deer are still in velvet. We'll explain more of that in that program. And if you spook them, you ruin their rack. And I've been on hunting leases where they'll chase you off in August, September, being in the woods. But we do have some hunting segments coming up. Hey, we believe it. It's not only fishing, but it's not only hunting. We got other things coming up in the Outdoors, Louisiana style. And we got another caller on the line. I thought we did. Okay. Well, let's go on. Let me tell you about some of the tackle tips we got coming in. Lester sent me one. Lester, you made a suggestion of a live bait rig using a weedless hook. We're going to put that in combination to Albert Neal's. Albert Neal made a suggestion of a small cork on a sliding bait rig. I'm going to put those two together and put it in with a Congo minnow and put it up here and get in the tank with them. We can do this, right?
Of course.
We scuba qualified. We're going to get in the tank with them and show you how the bait works. So you, Lester Brower and Albert Neal, you guys are going to have to share a little prize. We'll come up with something for each one of y'all. Mark Borg, Mark said how to mark your rod when you're doing things and fishing and all. And we'll come back to the phone lines in just a second. Y'all hold on now. Glenn Lacombe came up bringing plastic bags with you when you go fishing. It puts a little tackle and all in. When you put your scents and all that stuff in them. Good tip. John Fema says ice chest repairs. That one we may have to show you. I got to get with Mike Seipel and see if that's totally safe for the ice chest. Alan said use a lemon. Have you ever done this?
What?
Alan suggested that you take some whole lemons when you go fishing, and when you're handling the bait and all, and your hands start smelling like fish, you rinse them with the lemon juice.
I never did it fishing, but I've used lemon juice to take the smell off my hands when I clean fish.
Alan Copano, I think Copano. Help me with that name. Can you see that?
It's Copano.
Copano. Alan came up with that, and Alan, we're going to try it. And if it works, we'll make a tackle tip out of it. And we'll make a tackle tip out of it, you get the ice chest. Let's go back to the phone lines now. How you doing, Mark? You're on the Outdoors, Louisiana style. Mark. Earth to Mark. Beam me up, Mark. Okay, we'll talk to Mark in a second. Randy sent us one in. Randy, you made a suggestion to us about battery terminals. Well, you'd be surprised. We produced a boat doctor concerning battery terminals and carry your battery just last week. That's not a tackle tip, but we're not going to cheat. We'll find something for you. Keith Torres came up with something on crab traps. We're going to check that one out. Crab nets. And Bob Fleshman. Where's Bob's? Where is it? Bob, you got it, partner. Look at this. These are 2 meat trays that you'd find in the supermarket. This is a nifty little idea. And he wraps the sparkle beaters around it and hangs them on it. He's got them taped together. That's a nifty little
That's a good idea.
That really is. So we're going to show you more closer detail on how Bob made this up. But you folks are sending us all these great tackle tips, all this stuff. What that is, that's 2 meat trays that you got out of that supermarket. It's just two of them. They tape together like that. He hangs his shad rig into it and stretches it around and then hooks it up again. It's a simple thing. We're going to try to produce a little bit more and find things that you can make it. But, man, we guys are great. You send us all these fantastic tackle tips. But as I said, the ones we produce into honest-to-goodness tackle tips that we use on the program here, I will arrange for you to get a 48-quart Eagle. But the other ones, the ones we're tapping on right now, we're going to come up with something for you. At least a Tide Rule booklet, maybe something else from Eagle. I've got to talk to Big Mike about it. Talking about Mike, let's talk to Mike. He's on the line now. Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Doing fine, Eddie. How you?
I said Big Mike.
Big Mike, yeah.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Big Mike is our taxidermist here. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing fine tonight, Eddie. Everything's fine. What I wanted to do, I wanted to kind of let you know about carnival beads for tackle tips.
Carnival beads?
Carnival beads. You take the carnival beads that's a little loose, not the kind that's melted to the string.
Okay.
Okay, a 1/4 inch in diameter, and you can make your own popping corks when you're out on the water. Tie a slip knot, slip on a carnival bead, tie a regular cork on it, a carnival bead at the top, and then tie another loop at the top, and you got your own popping cork emergency.
Popping cork emergency.
Similar to that, huh, Big Mike?
Very, very similar to that.
But
I'm talking about something in an emergency.
Yeah, something in an emergency. All right, Big Mike. I tell you what, tie one up, send it to me. If it gets past Frankie and you don't get in the mailbag, we'll take care of you on that one.
Thank you.
All right.
See you later, Mike.
Big Mike Mathern. Mike Mathern and the guys of the South Louisiana Taxidermists Association are doing another program to save the stuff that's on display out of the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Commission. And Big Mike has taken care of, he's provided us with all amounts here, changed them out, but we're going to do a program with Mike on how to take care of the game in the field and how to select a good taxidermist. Thank you, Mike, for the call tonight. Send me a tackle tip now. Don't you get into the mailbag. Hey, Tex, you want to talk on the Outdoors Louisiana style?
Yeah, I want to ask you a question about some points around St. Mary's out there. Would it be advisable to go out Monday considering the hurricane that's coming in now?
Absolutely not, Tex. No. I wouldn't advise anybody to be in a marsh until at least Tuesday. The tides have to settle out. There's going to be a lot of debris moving through the water, and you have to give all this stuff a time to settle back down again. Any movement before then, you take a chance that something may have been displaced, especially in the Barrett area and on the east bank of the river. Either side. You can't pick on one or the other. There's a lot of stuff out there that's going to move around the 6 to 9 foot sea tide over the next couple of days. Give it a little time to settle out and some of the stuff to float to the top.
What about any of the marshes before that, like up around coming out below Lake Hermitage?
The water's going to be all turned up, too.
Water's going to be terrible, Tex. If you want to go for a boat ride and you got nothing else, it's all right. But water's not going to really calm down to maybe Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right, sorry I can't give you any more better word than that. Got time for one more. I think we've got time for one more call. Let's see who we got up on the line here. We want to talk to you, and if we didn't get to you tonight, remember you can join Frank and I every Saturday morning and Thursday night on the Outdoors on WWL. Hi, Carl. You're on the Outdoors Louisiana style.
Yeah, how you doing, Eddie? I went and fished Grand Bayou, the end of Grand Bayou by the Gulf, about 2 weeks ago, and I was catching these fish. My partner called them banana fish. I don't know what you call them. Poor man's tarpon, because they jump in the air when you catch them, and they're real small, but they were hitting everything we threw, and they were schooling with the trout, kind of, and we couldn't get away from these things. I was just wondering, you know what kind of fish they are?
What do you call them, Frank?
I call them banana fish.
Banana fish, lady fish, banana fish. They school up. They're no good. They're terrible fish, really.
You can't eat them. You can't fillet them and eat them. Huh?
They're aggravating. The only thing you can do is try to fish past them.
They're tough to get away from, though, once they're on you.
Yeah, because we went a few different places right along the Gulf Coast there, and we were catching them. At the end of Grand Bayou, we were catching them, and so finally we just kind of gave up because that's all we were catching that day.
Well, can't help you get around them, but you got to try to fish past them.
Okay, thanks, Eddie.
Thank you for the call. All right, that's all the time we got left for on phone calls tonight. In fact, right now, instead of doing the best bets of the week, I want to show you a little bit about a map tip. I want to show you a spot that you might like to fish. That, tackle tips, and we might recap talking about Florence, who's knocking on our door. That's all coming up next, right here on the Outdoors Louisiana style. For today's tackle tip, let's talk about how to select good color bait to fish with. And let me start this off by saying this is not a commercial. It's just a recommendation because I heard from a lot of our field editors here in Outdoors Louisiana style that they do use this contraption, the color selector, to decide what color bait to use in both freshwater and saltwater. And we'll hear from you, what difference does it make? Well, if you're throwing clear, chartreuse, purple, green, a chartreuse, or a blue or a white, well, you got to know what color to start with. Well, the color selector kind of gives you that kind of guidance in the beginning on how to pick those baits out. And how does it work? Well, there's a light reactive probe on one end, and when you drop it in the water to the depth that you're going to be fishing at, that's the key part, to the depth that you like to be fishing at, it's going to point at something along the range. And this is just 3 arrows here that I've picked out at random. Say if it was in muddy water and it was pointed across here, the silver would be about your best bet. And if it was in stained water, the gold, and in clear water, the purple. And always there's a fluorescent like a yellow and a pink and a green that gives you an alternate there. It covers more areas. But these are the primary 3 colors. Now this is kind of more the range where we find our water in South Louisiana. You find it muddy, the red, and stained, the silver, and clear water, the green or olive color. And then over here we go to silver, purple, and gold for these colors. Well, it kind of gives you an idea that the purples and greens and blues and all those colors that we find mostly in our tackle boxes, see, they cover pretty much the range in muddy and stained water in South Louisiana. And that gives us a hand when we want to try to find baits and pick them out. Give you that little edge when you get started. Now, I don't base all my fishing on it. Of course, I don't base all my fishing on anything. But the color selector kind of gives me an edge when I get started. So today's tackle tip, pick one up or use your buddies. Give it a whirl and see if it helps you find some fish. And that's it. There's a whole lot more coming up next on the Outdoors Louisiana Style.
For the fisherman who finds his catch in the swamps and inland waters, Bayou Specialties has all you need to make that fishing trip successful. Bayou Specialties carries a great selection of tackle for catching specks, reds, and other inland fish, and a complete line of blue water fishing tackle to bring in the big ones from the deep. You'll even find marine supplies at Bayou Specialties. So wherever you go fishing, get your quality tackle first at Bayou Specialties in Jefferson, Gretna, and Slidell.
The secret to having a great time in the outdoors is having the right equipment, and I found the place to go. Peretz Allied Army Surplus and Outdoor Stores in Harahan and Kenner. And this is where you can find all your camping needs, right here at Peretz. From stoves to lanterns to eating utensils, everything you'll need if you're going to get into the outdoors. So before you get into the great outdoors, get into Peretz. Peretz Allied Army Surplus and Outdoor Stores in Harahan and Kenner. For this week's best bets, well, really, with Hurricane Florence outside, I really can't give you a best bet. I want to show you this little spot on the map, though, because this is one of my favorite fishing areas. We're talking about the Chef, Lake Catherine, and the Wrigley's and all. And let me show you a little bit about this spot, because I'd like you to get familiar with it. You got saltwater fishing, freshwater fishing, and brackish water fishing all in this one little spot. Now, this is Lake Pontchartrain. The Wrigley's is up over here. The Chef Pass is down in this area. Now, I want to show you where Lake Catherine is. That's right here. Fort Pike Public Launch brings you right into Sawmill Pass, through Sawmill Pass into Lake Catherine, or come through the far end over here by Marquez Canal. Come right out into Lake Catherine. Now, Lake Catherine's got some grass beds over here by a little coin pocket, by the St. Catherine Pass, Counterfeit Pass, all these little spots got some grass beds. Miller's Ditch comes right here. This is a railroad track that runs all the way along the line. This goes all the way out into Mississippi, the big railroad track. It starts right back here at Chef Pass at Highway 90. But they got one place you can get underneath it, and it's called Miller's Ditch or Miller's Bayou, and it comes all the way across the Intercoastal Waterway, which parallels this whole thing right here. Now, right here at Miller's Ditch, some good fishing. Now, I'm talking about croakers and bottomfish all through this area. There's a good current action through there. All you need is about 8/10 of a foot to a foot of tide, and really a lot of current action in the area. Now, that's if you guys really don't know where to go. But get you a good map like this one. We can't get any tighter on this one because it's just not big enough. But they got some ponds all along this railroad canal. See, there's a canal that goes here from Miller's Ditch and goes north. Well, it really goes east and it goes west out of there. There's little ponds all back in here in this broken up marsh. And with small flat boats and bass boats, you get back in these ponds. September and October, the great 2 months to do it. Throw a buzzbait, plastic worm off the points. You see in this marsh, it looks just like this. The marsh looks just like this, but on a smaller scale. And in a marsh, you'll have all these points, like right here. You have a big blowout of marsh, and you'll have a point. Now, if this point was back in this little pocket, you'd want to throw a buzzbait right across this point. Just throw that buzzbait and work it right across that point. If you get a fish to blow up on it, you did good. But otherwise, you go back and work a worm all the way around it. Just work it all the way around. The fish are going to be hanging on the points. That's bass fishing now. You get some perch jerking along the same areas, and if you want to go speckled trout fishing, right in the Intercoastal Waterway, Miller's Ditch comes out. Down here by the Wrigley's, they've got a couple of bypasses back in here, some good speckled trout fishing, and this is into the Pearl River system. From Pearl River all the way to Chef Pass at 30 miles an hour is about a 15-minute travel. So you can cover a whole lot of this area. And that's it. That's the best bet for the week is next time you get out, explore this area, but not this weekend. But I've got a calendar of events for you. Got to remind you, if you got a calendar item that you'd like us to use here on Outdoors Louisiana Style, mail it to this address and send it to me just about as soon as you can, because I want to get it on the calendar right away. Now, we still have shrimp season open up in Louisiana. It's open statewide. Of course, you're not going to do a lot of shrimping now with the hurricane in effect, but we don't have any closures on it yet. But I do have something for the entire family, and that's a gun class, a gun safety class hosted by the East Jefferson Levee District, and they're doing this September class. It's called this number for more details. And on September 24th, why don't you join me, because we've got Beach Sweep 88. We've got a community project right here in New Orleans area that I'd like to have your help on. Call John today and tell him you'd like to help us out. And for hunting seasons, we got dove season open in Louisiana. That's only open through Sunday, and that's the first split. The second split opens up the first week in October. But in Mississippi, it goes on for a whole nother week, and their bag limit is a little bit different. Their shooting times are about the same as ours. Now let's talk about boating safety here for a second, because the New Orleans Pilot Squadron's got a class starting this Tuesday. Call Bill Harvey at this number for more details. And now hunting safety is still in effect. Hey, we got a class starting Tuesday also at Boyd Junior High School. Call this number, and they'll tell you all about hunting safety. And talking about hunting, the Wildfowl Art Festival is at the University of New Orleans. This is an excellent display. Mark your calendar for this one. It's 2 weeks away, and next week we'll talk to Charlie Frank about this festival and what you'll see out there. And now, a quick look at weather. Florence is outside, gang. You know Florence made it down here, and things are going to be rough all weekend long. Best bet for the outdoorsman, stay home if you can. And if you got to go someplace, do it now, or wait till early in the morning, tomorrow morning. Don't go out over the evening, because things are going to get bad. Take all necessary precautions. Lash things down. Take care of the boat. Take care of the pets. Hey, don't forget the pets now. And if you want more details on the weather, I can't give them to you right now. But WWL News Radio 87 is going to be there all evening long with details, and you can catch it on the Weather Channel. And that's it. If you need details on the weather, hey, trust your sources. That's it. Weather for the outdoorsman, Louisiana style. Hey, how y'all doing? Well, don't forget that we're going to move next week. Starting next week, we're going to a brand new time slot, and that's going to be at 7 o'clock on Friday nights on Channel 22. And the rest of the weekend, all of our airings are on Channel 22. But next week, we go moving. And also, tackle tips. If you got your tackle tip now, send me the details on that tackle tip and mail it out as soon as you can. Because remember, if we produce it in a full-fledged tackle tip like the one you saw a few minutes ago, with sharpening hooks and a color selector and all, I will give you the 48-quart Eagle Ice Chest. But if you just send me one in that we can use and just share with you, I'll find something. We got to have something. You got something in the locker?
Have you gave away all my ice chest?
Well, yeah, but we'll come up with something. I'll tell you what, we can give them one of these hats from the Jefferson Rod and Gun Club. You see this hat? Well, the guys last night at Jefferson Rod and Gun Club said that we didn't have one on the set, and it was right up here on the top shelf all the time. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give you one. Here. Here. We're going to give you a hat like that. Next tackle tip we do, because now we've got two. You see, guys, we already had one. You gave me one last night, so now we got two.
You're giving away my hat, huh?
Yeah, we'll put that one back up on the shelf, Frank. And look, if you guys have got a hat, a patch from your club, or some memorabilia, or some junk you'd like to put up here on the set, just send it on over to us. Or drop me a note first, and then I'll tell you how you can send it on to us. And we'll tell you how you can get that stuff to us.
That's how we got that dove decoy.
This is not a dove decoy. This is a beautiful, this is hand carved with an axe. And it is. But look.
Chainsaw.
A chainsaw. Well, no, it's a beautiful decoy. There's going to be a lot of this stuff out at UNO on the 24th and 25th. And I'll remind you about this festival, because Charlie Frank's going to be with us next Friday night. In fact, he's going to take a look at some of the decoys and tell us some of the things you should look at the decoys you got around your house, and some of the waterfowl art. Maybe Florian carvings and some little gold. Frank Lidoff's going to be there.
Oh, yeah, he does some real nice work with the gold.
Yeah, Frank Lidoff is a gold and silver smith, and he's done some beautiful creations for me and my family. There's some stuff for you, and
That's
stuff
right.
for rodeos
That's right.
we've done and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all going to be out at UNO next week.
Is the leather going to be there?
I don't know if Florian will be out there. Florian does leather prints, and it's impressed leather prints.
Well, that's beautiful, too.
Beautiful work. But see, if you love beautiful wildfowl art or beautiful outdoors art, you got to head out to UNO the 24th and 25th.
I tell you, some of them carvings look so real. Like remember that one with the oyster shell and the oyster and the crackers and everything? We started to eat it. I mean,
You started to eat it.
It was made out of wood. It's beautiful.
That was done by Sid Lacoste, and Sid did some beautiful work, and he'll be out there that week too.
Mm.
So that's all going to be at UNO on the 24th and 25th. It's a beautiful show. Look, if you didn't get time to talk to us tonight, Frank and I are available almost every Saturday morning. This week, because of Hurricane Florence, might not be able to talk too much about the outdoors, but from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock on WWL News Radio 87, and from 6 to 8 on Thursday nights, we're there with the outdoors. So if you can get to chat with us tonight, you can drop me a note and tell me what you don't want to talk about, and I'll respond, or call us on the radio. I'll be glad to talk to you. And that's it. Good fishing trip this week. Glad you can make it and joined us, because we had fun, and we're going to continue to have fun. bringing it to you. The outdoors like you've never seen it before. Right here on the Outdoors, Louisiana style. Take care. Good night. Watch out. Ooh, Florence is outside.